Okay, everybody. I know this is not exactly me hosting the show is not exactly the most bizarre thing that's happened in the league, but still, I guess it's kind of bizarre. Welcome to this show that I do almost every week, and usually I'm kind of the sidekick. But since today David's not particularly feeling well, he asked me personally to take over. So I'm gonna try my best to get through with this because we have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to updates about the NFL's treatment of a certain situation that everybody is let's just say pissed off with. I I'm pissed off with this too, frankly. It all started on Sunday Night Football when the Chiefs played the Jets at MetLife Stadium. You obviously know where I'm probably going with this. I will say the broadcast at first was a complete disaster. I literally turned it off 15 minutes in. I turned it off mainly because all they were doing half the time was dumbing football down, even though it's a very simple game to understand. They were dumbing it down for the kiddies, the Swifties who happened to be watching that night because you know who was there yet again. And I thought the first time was hard to deal with, but the second time, even worse. And of course, they showed Taylor Swift in that booth 17 times during the telecast. 17. People have counted. It's 17 times. More than the Jets were playing. And remember, the Jets almost won the game. Except, well, the NFL fucking rigged the game. Yes, I'm one of the people who believe they rigged that game on Sunday night because of you know who being there, and we gotta let the Chiefs win because the Swifties are gonna get upset and not watch our football no more. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's just like, come on. To the point where I wish I downloaded this file at the beginning of the show, but let me try and see if I can. I don't know if I can or not. Ah, I can. Wonderful. Let me just save that row. Oh, who's there? David. Oh wait, who is that? Ah,
Hey, how's it going there?
oh right, I forgot about you. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Where is David though?
Yeah, I got confused because it looked like his setup, but he's not gonna be on today. He's kind of feeling under the weather right now.
Oh,
So
okay, I got you. Hey,
I'm just talking about currently the whole thing that happened on Sunday night about whole possibly that the NFL rigged the game, mainly because of the fact that Taylor Swift was once again there, and they had to, we can't let the Swifties go. We can't, exactly, have
yeah,
them lose the game to the point where on NFL's official Instagram, they posted this image of their profile. Now, look at the description. Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties. That has led to many people, including myself, thinking that the NFL rigged that game, especially considering the Jets were actually doing pretty damn good for once in their lives during that game. They only
Oh,
did this for the ratings, they did this for the attention.
yeah. No, sorry, I'm a minute late though, guys.
No, 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 it's all right. It's all right.
I
You're
had to
good.
cancel the NFL Network off my phone because we've been running into money trouble. So we
Yeah.
ended up having to cancel Disney and NFL Network. So I ended up having to cancel it off my phone and every other TV thing. So the way I have to watch the NFL games going on is that I have to find this app on my phone to do it. It's uh nobody exposed me for this, but the app's kind of illegal to have because they
Don't worry. I watch Red Zone illegally every Sunday.
yeah, the app's kind of illegal to have because they download the games and then they post them on that app, and then I have to use that.
I do have a website for you that I could probably send to you later. I could send it to Dave as well, where you have all the games live. I can actually send that to you.
Yeah,
Probably.
no, they do the
Oh,
same thing. All the games are live, so I have to
oh,
watch it over
okay.
there.
All right. Okay.
There's times where I miss the game because of everything that's going on. I had my appendix removed, so the painkillers
Ooh.
they put me on knocked me out for a
Nice.
few hours, and I end up going to sleep. So, yeah, that's what
All right.
happened. So I was like a
Okay.
minute late to joining this. I just got
That's
done
all
watching
right.
the game, so I could be caught up with everything.
So yeah, and then also too, to keep going back on track, that the Twitter account or X, whatever the hell you want to call it, of the NFL, their account, it looked like this when the Chiefs won. Talk about subtlety, eh?
Oh my God, the cover photo is Taylor Swift. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's how you know that. I think Roger Goodell and everybody at the NFL were rigging that damn game to the point where the Jets coach was so pissed off. He was so angry, and rightfully so. And the refs gave him unsportsmanlike conduct. Yet the refs were rigging the game. Doesn't make any sense. It's double standard. It's the definition of double standard to the point where even Travis Kelce, he's saying that the attention that the league is giving him and Swift's relationship, they're overdoing it. Even Travis Kelce doesn't like it. Good for him, because I understand exactly where he's coming from. However, according to this first article I'm about to read to you today, out of all the news here, is the NFL yesterday defended its recent coverage of pop superstar Taylor Swift and Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce amid backlash from fans and even Kelce himself, who said that the league is overdoing it with its attention towards the duo's rumored romance. Yes, the NFL has basically defended themselves covering this whole bullshit, which pretty much proves the point that they probably did rig that game on Sunday night. And the reason why is because the ratings, they basically became attention whores with the whole Taylor Swift thing to the point where Sunday night's game had an average of 27 million viewers live on NBC.
Damn,
Most of that was Swifties, not so much the football fans. Because the Sunday night football usually does really well, but not 27 million. I mean, the primetime games so far this year have been a complete disaster. Like, people are not really caring too much about them. And now they're just basically patting themselves on the back because now actually the full total was actually 29.2 million viewers who watched the game on Sunday. They're patting themselves on the back for being attention whores, pretty much. And it's getting ridiculous, and to the point where I don't know if you noticed this if you watched the broadcast, because I turned it off 15 minutes in because I couldn't stand the fact that they were cutting back and forth between Taylor Swift 17 times for the whole fucking game, to the point where during commercial breaks they were promoting her concert film that's supposed to come out next week in theaters, and they did it over and over and over again. They didn't just play it once, they played it like 5 times throughout the
I don't understand that. Like, there's commercials for regular TV shows for a reason, or people who have cable. I personally don't have cable because,
Well, I don't have cable either. Hardly anybody has cable anymore, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean,
True.
even anybody who still has the NFL Network, they still have to watch commercials from time to time, and it's kind of annoying. And then yesterday, when I was watching a movie off of Tubi, because you guys know everything on Tubi is free, you just have to watch ads.
I'm aware.
90% of those ads on Tubi, as I was watching that movie, were the Taylor Swift movie thing. I was like,
my God.
that's really annoying. Like, that's really annoying because most of the commercials that were on Tubi before were old ads that people haven't seen in years. And it was really annoying. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, I don't want to sit here and watch this. Like, it was really annoying to a point to where I'm just like, who cares about this? Like, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you're a Taylor Swift fan.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bash Swift, even Swifties or anything like that. I'm not trying to bash them, but at the same time, this is getting really fucking old. I want to watch football.
Right.
Yeah, people want to watch football, not some
TMZ bullshit.
Yes.
Right, and it's don't get me wrong and everything. Taylor Swift's an okay singer. I mean, I'm personally not a fan of her, but she's an okay singer. But that doesn't mean for like 20 damn minutes we want to sit there and watch that bullshit. Like, come on, I'm here to sit here and watch football. I'm not here to sit and watch some blonde hair singer ads. Like, I don't fucking care about
And
that.
plus, too, remember, she was in the building. She was in MetLife Stadium. They kept cutting back every time that the Chiefs did a touchdown or did a big play. Cut back to her reaction. It's like those reaction videos on YouTube, but less endearing. It's really ridiculous. And to the point where the NFL has basically they also another thing. I don't know if it said that on that Twitter post or their bio, but they changed their name on their bio to, it usually just says NFL. Now, when on Sunday night after the game, it said NFL Taylor's version because of her fucking re-recordings of her albums. I'm just like, you're not trying for subtlety here. People want to watch the sports. We want to get coverage of everything that's going on in the NFL in terms of sports. Like literally, the one of the best games of the entire week 4, which was the Bills game and the Bills and the Dolphins, right? The most highly anticipated game in terms of actual games. Didn't get any attention. Anything. It didn't get no attention because of all this bullshit. It got no attention. Nobody cared, which is sad. 2 of the best teams in the league get shafted because of Taylor Swift. And the Bills did great, and I'll get to that later. But really, it's getting ridiculous. And to the point where Travis Kelce went on his podcast, which he does with his brother, Jason, who's part of the Philadelphia Eagles. He says that whole thing needs to calm down. He says, quote, I think it's fun where they show who was at the game. I think it brings a lot more to the atmosphere, but brings a little bit more of what you're watching. But at the same time, I think his brother then interjected, quote, they're overdoing it. Kelce agreed, quote, they're overdoing it a little bit for sure, especially in my situation. But I think they're just trying to have fun with it. Yeah, even Travis Kelce is kind of not fond of this happening.
And honestly, I always think that doing that should be saved for the halftime game, and that's what it always should be saved to. Not constantly cutting to it. Like, when you watch the Super Bowl and they have those concerts, that's always saved for the halftime game. For example, the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I forget her name, but it was the black
Rihanna.
Yeah, it was the black singer who's pregnant, Rihanna. She had the concert, and it was saved for the halftime game, and she never complained about it. But I watched this like backstage thing that recently got uploaded to YouTube, and Taylor was complaining about how I don't want to be a part of that halftime bullshit. I want to be able to sing and do that early. I want my movie to be shown. And it's like, that's kind of selfish for you to say. What about all these football players that train and work really hard?
Exactly. That's why they probably went with Usher. Usher is probably not complaining at all. In fact, it's probably the most relevant he's been in about 10 years.
I mean, hell, Snoop Dogg was on, these football games, and he never complained about it. Hell, there's loads of female singers, so it's not just female singers who complain about it. Like,
it could be anybody.
Really,
celebrities are so jaded and entitled.
Not all of them, but some of them are.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Yes.
Like Taylor Swift is very entitled.
Really entitled.
Really, she's one of the first singers in maybe about 2 or 3 years that's been the only one to complain about this shit.
Exactly.
Like, she's been the only one.
I think the reason why this is speculation on my part is that she's not getting paid enough to what she wants. She wants to be paid like billions of dollars, and Goodell doesn't want to give it to her, even though they make billions of dollars, probably because they want to focus on football. At the same time, why are you giving her attention after all this shit's happening, Goodell? And rigging the game so the Swifties could be happy that they watch football. And I hate in the broadcast, they start off the broadcast with this sort of segment which combined elements from The Voice, which was premiering the next night, the season premiere, whatever, where Carson Daly, the host of The Voice, dumbs down football to the point where Taylor Swift fans could understand and use her song lyrics to understand who are the Jets, who are the Chiefs, what's going on with this whole storyline. It's just, I was cringing. I was cringing when I saw that. I'm just like, come on, can you do any better? Football's a very easy game to understand. 4 downs, you have 4 tries to get the touchdown. It's that simple. And you do field goals every once in a while, depending on where you land when you get 4th down. It's simple. It's not a complicated sport to understand. A lot of people think it's complicated, but when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of it, it's a very simple game compared to other statistic-based games like Major League Baseball, for example. And it's just getting really ridiculous. It's just, I know I'm going on a complete tangent here, but it's really getting ridiculous at this point. It's just like, come on. Even Travis Kelce is annoyed with this. If she comes, if she's coming to the next Chiefs game, I don't know what the next Chiefs game is.
Oh, and it wasn't just that. I saw Peyton Manning tweeted out something, and he was complaining about it. He was complaining.
All the fans. I didn't know Peyton Manning was complaining about it, but good for him because you know what? I agree with him 100%. It's just getting really ridiculous at this point. Let's see.
Yeah, it's really stupid. Like,
okay, so the Chiefs are going against the Vikings on Sunday at 4:25. If Swift's there, I'm not watching it.
Oh yeah, about that. Since we were talking about Major League Baseball there for a second, tell you all the truth, I haven't watched baseball in 4 years since Tyler Skaggs died. I don't know, when he passed away, it kind of drew the game away from me. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of baseball, to tell you the truth, but I did enjoy watching it. I mean, it wasn't one of the sports that I was a big fan of, but I still watched it. And after he passed, I kind of stopped watching it.
But yeah, and also too, Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth that night were basically jerking off Mahomes over and over, especially Collinsworth. He was over and over. Oh, Mahomes is the best. Yet they fucking want the refs rigged the game to protect him from that bullshit play that happened towards the end. And it's just like, it's getting really ridiculous.
That was really stupid. I didn't enjoy that very much.
It's just like, oh my God, calm the fuck down. I mean, you don't say this about Tua Tagovailoa. You don't say that about him. You only talk about Mahomes. Because he's the NFL's golden boy. I'm telling you, another reason to hate the Chiefs. It's getting really ridiculous. So that's all I have to say about that one. Oh my God, I went almost 20 minutes talking about Swift. Jesus. Now let's talk about what's going on in my neck of the woods with the New York Giants. Because as we know, there was a Monday Night Football game on Monday night where they were playing against the Seahawks, and it was a complete freaking disaster. I mean, I was sitting there mind-boggled. I was bored out of my mind half the time, to the point where you saw in the fourth quarter, like ESPN showed a shot of the stadium, and it showed many people going to their cars and driving away because they knew the game was already over. They were like, fuck that. To the point where the aftermath of this game, I have to talk about one Evan Neal, because he said something really, really stupid, I believe on Tuesday. Or it could have been yesterday. I'm not quite sure. So what happened was, as the Giants walked off the field with the fans booing, Neal raised his arm and gestured sarcastically. Asked Wednesday about the incident by NewJersey.com's Daryl Slater, Neal said he was yelling "boo" louder at the fans and explained why. Quote, because that further shows that people are fair weather, he said. A lot of fans are bandwagoners. I mean, I get it. They want us to see us perform well, and I respect all that. But no one wants us to perform well more than we do. And how you could say you're really a fan, we're battering our asses off, and the game wasn't going well, and the best you could do is boom your whole team. So how much of a fan are you really? Are you fucking kidding me? This is one of the worst fucking players in the fucking league. He don't do shit, and he's complaining that we're the problem? Us Giants fans, we're the problem? And then he said this too. Which was pretty much the bottom of the barrel in terms of what you could say. All right? This is what he said. People tag me on stuff all the time, referring to Twitter, he said. So it's like, yeah, I see it, but I genuinely don't care. Why should I? I'm in the National Football League. The person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs and hamburgers somewhere? So you're saying just because you're in the National Football League means that you're not entitled to criticism? Is that what you're saying, Neal? And us fans criticizing the whole team, not just him, but Daniel Jones, the whole fucking offense is a goddamn disaster. It's just saying that, all we do is flip hamburgers and hot dogs. Bitch, I don't care how much money you make. We're fans. We're dedicated to this stuff all the time. We're dedicated fans. We root for the Giants as much as they suck. And you're saying all that, thinking that we're entitled? We are the entitled ones? Yeah, you're saying all this bullshit, Evan Neal? It's really ridiculous.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, let's be for real here. He's tweeting that out because, let's be honest, as you pointed out, he's one of the worst, players in the entire league.
I mean, he's just horrible.
I mean, let's be honest.
He blocked Darren Waller and caused an interception. He caused a fucking interception.
So let's be for real here. He's tweeting that out for attention because nobody pays attention to him.
Oh, attention whore.
Unless he does something stupid during the game. Truthfully,
like the interception. You probably saw the interception that you did.
Exactly. Unless he does something stupid during the game, nobody ever pays attention to him. Nobody actually gives a fuck about the guy. So he does all this stupid shit to try to get attention. And then 90% of the time, that's why people pay attention to him. If it wasn't for him tweeting dumb shit out or him doing dumb shit during a game, nobody would ever care or give a fuck about the guy.
No, not at all. It's basically him trying to get attention, and to the point where earlier today, he was forced to apologize. And also, he not only said he called them fair weather, he called the fans sheep. He called them sheep. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
That is absolutely ridiculous. So now, today, he was forced to apologize after criticizing sheep Giants fans. Oh, I'm a sheep too? Wonderful. Call me a sheep all you want. And he was like, what did he say? Come on. Okay, this is what he said. Quote, I am sorry for lashing out. I am wrong for lashing out at the fans who are just as passionate and frustrated as I am. I let my frustrations in my play plus desire to win get the best of me. I have no right to make light of anyone's job, and I deeply regret the things I said. We are working day in and day out to grow as a team, and this is an unnecessary distraction. I apologize. Well, it's too little too late because Giants are 1-3. The season's over. The season's over, frankly. We're 1-3. We're 1-3. It's getting really ridiculous. It's just like, wow. I mean, that was adding more. I get it. He apologized, but at the same time, it's too little too late. We're fucking done for the season, frankly. And because of this bullshit, I'm going to say this right now. I don't care if I'm being controversial. Don LaGreca on ESPN Radio, Michael K's show, he also said this too. He needs to get the boot. I'm sorry. He needs to get the boot. After what he said, he needs to get the boot.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely does. I mean, since, people are tweeting out literally everything, I think it's time we start tweeting out something. Dude needs to get the boot, and hashtag this shit too, because you guys know.
I have a feeling J-Ball's going to do it too. I have a strange feeling, especially considering how bad they are right now, and especially how pissed off the Giants fan base is right now. I think he's going to get the boot. That's my guess. I don't know if it's going to be at the end of the season or during the season. I don't know, but at the end of the season, though, he is going to get the boot. Even Brian Daboll basically said that Neal had poor comments. That's what Daboll said. And it's just really ridiculous. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, Daboll needs to work better. Neal needs to work better. Daniel Jones needs to work better. The whole offense needs to get their shit together. But I think it's already too little too late at this point. I think it's too little too late. Because not only just because of this, but just in general, it's just, come on. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. We're going to talk about the Bengals. Joe Burrow said that the Bengals need this next win against the Cardinals for morale. And, the Bengals are not doing well at all. They're also 1-3. And this is after the Bengals did a pretty good season last season. And they're now 1-3. And they haven't had a road win yet. So Burrow said pretty much, we pride ourselves on the road for on playing really good football, good defense, good scheme. We need it for morale. We need it for our ranking. We need it for everything. and especially considering, all the shit that's going on with the Bengals. Yeah, in a way, it's needed because they're not doing too well. Let's face it. I was kind of shocked that they ended up 1-3. I mean, everybody thought after what's been going on, it's just getting, um, I thought it was gonna get better for them, but nope, not at all, not at all. So in terms of what else could I talk about here? Oh yeah, I have another situation about the whole Taylor Swift bullshit. I got an update too. This is a report that the NFL asked the broadcast partners, mainly NBC, ESPN, and ABC, because ESPN and ABC are both airing Monday Night Football together on a simulcast this year. They asked them to promote the Taylor Swift concert movie for free. It was paid for by the NFL. They promoted the thing for free. Neither Fox or CBS used the promo. However, ESPN, ABC, and NBC got the promo. And apparently Amazon was not asked to play the commercial. Apparently, next Thursday night, they're going to be playing against the Chiefs are going to be playing against the Broncos. Next Thursday night on Thursday Night Football, which is one of the worst shows on TV because Thursday Night Football usually sucks ass. And this week is going to be no exception. I'll get to that. And they're pretty much, oh my God, they're giving the movie free promotion. It cost them nothing. So NBC, NFL is getting really desperate. NBC and ESPN, they could have easily said, no, we're not doing the ad. But I guess they decided, hey, it's free. They paid for it. So it's getting really ridiculous with that whole shit. So anyway, let's look at the scores for week 3 in terms of what we got going on here. So week 3, we start off on Thursday Night Football with the Giants and 49ers. Oh, no. Oops, that's week 3. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Now I have week 4. Thursday Night Football, Lions and Packers. The Lions won 34-20. Who didn't see this one coming? I was like halfway through. Yep, I knew this was going to happen. Turned it off. Now going to Sunday games. The Falcons and the Jaguars. The Jaguars won 23-7. 23-7.
Damn.
The Falcons are now 2-2, and the Jaguars are also 2-2. But damn, that's brutal. And that was a London game, by the way. That was a London game. So it was on at 9:30 in the morning. I'm just like, oh God, I can't wake up until 9:30 in the morning. So honestly, I'm kind of glad it wasn't that close of a game, so I won't have to miss much. And the next game is one of the best games of the entire week. The Rams and the Colts. For a long time, they went to overtime.
I really enjoyed this game. And I'm not saying that because the Indianapolis Colts are my favorite team. I'm generally saying that because I actually really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, the overtime was very, very great. It was 2 games this week to go into overtime, and Puka Nagawa. Sorry, I can't pronounce this guy's name, but he is going to be a star because his receiving has been crazy all season. But this was the first touch. He did the game-winning walk-off touchdown. It was also his first touchdown in the league. That was a very, very good ending to that game. Very special ending for him, having a lot of sentimental value with the Rams, and they're really starting with Nagawa's positions here. I think the Rams might have gotten their shit together from last season. They're doing a lot better, and possibly with him being there, yeah, they have a star on their hands potentially. So the Rams won 29-23. Next, the Ravens and the Browns, which was almost a freaking blowout. 28-3. 28-3. Because almost all the good players in the Browns have gotten injured. And yeah, this was expected. Next one, the Vikings and the Panthers. For once in their lives, the Vikings actually won a game. 21-13 against the Carolina Panthers, excuse me. So there you go. They actually won a game this season. Before this, they haven't won anything. The Bengals and the Titans. Of course, the Bengals lost. 23-7 is the final. The Titans. The Bucks and the Saints, 26-9. Yeah, there was a bunch of blowouts during this week. a bunch of blowouts. Then we get to another great game, the Dolphins and the Bills. Although it was also a blowout, 48-20. The Broncos and the Bears. I believe this was the Broncos' this was their first win of the season after their complete disaster for the past 3 weeks. They won, I believe, in overtime. I think it was overtime. I'm not quite sure, but I believe it was. The score was 31-28. Then you have actually no. It was not overtime. That game was not overtime because this is the next overtime game. The Commanders and the Eagles, and the Eagles barely went out with 34-31 against the Commanders. Next, the Steelers and the Texans blowout. Texans won 30-6. The Chargers and the Raiders. The Chargers also won 24-17. The Raiders are not doing well at all. Jimmy G is not doing a very good job being the quarterback down there. The Cardinals and the 49ers. And, of course, that was also a blowout. Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey are a dynamic duo, and they beat the crap out of the Cardinals pretty easily, 35-16. And next is the Cowboys against the Patriots. The Patriots had no touchdowns during the whole game, just a field goal. Even David said to me personally that it was an embarrassing loss. They only got a field goal in. That's it. The Cowboys kicked their asses with 38-3. Then we got Sunday night rigged football, the Chiefs and the Jets, 23-20. I pretty much covered it all. And on Monday Night Football, the Seahawks and the Giants, of course, blowout, 24-3. And now for Week 5, in terms of what's coming up for the entire week. First of all, on Thursday Night Football, we have the Bears and the Commanders. Great. Shoot me. A terrible game on Thursday Night Football. Gee, who didn't see this one coming? Great.
Yeah, that game sucked.
That game
fucking sucked.
I mean, no. I'm talking about this week. It's happening tonight.
Oh, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You might as well not watch it. It's gonna put me to sleep. It is. Next up for the Sunday games, the first London game, which will be, I believe, on NFL Network. The last London game that happened last week was on ESPN Plus with that whole, and also that whole gimmicky Toy Story game, which was way too much of a gimmick. It's the Jaguars who was in London last week against the Bills. So we'll see how that one goes. The Saints and the Patriots will face off against next at 1 o'clock, followed by the Titans and the Colts, the Ravens and the Steelers, the Panthers and the Lions, the Texans and the Falcons, and, oh boy, the Giants and the Dolphins.
Also, can I just say, I'm looking really forward to that Titans and the Colts game. Again, it's not because the Colts are my favorite team, but the Colts have been on quite a roll lately. They've been having some really good games, and I always look forward to watching a Titans game. Even though the Titans aren't personally my favorite football team, I always do enjoy watching a Titans game.
Yeah,
so I am quite forward to watch that game. It should be a pretty good one.
Okay, so the Giants and the Dolphins, we all know the Dolphins are going to win. There's no doubt in my mind that the Dolphins are going to win. I mean, the Dolphins are a great team. They've been kicking ass and taking names, and the Giants just fucking blow. The Bengals and the Cardinals is next, which I covered before. And that starts the 4:05 games, followed by the Eagles and the Rams, which is probably going to be a great game. With Puka's receiving and with the Eagles and their crazy stuff, they're a very good team. I bet you it's going to be a great game. Followed by, at 4:25, the Jets and the Broncos. Wow. 2 horrible teams at the moment. That's going to be exciting. Followed by the Chiefs and the Vikings. If Taylor Swift's there, I'm not watching.
Yeah, no, fuck you, Taylor Swift.
Followed by next, the Cowboys and the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Finally, a good Sunday Night Football game? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, the 49ers will really kick the Cowboys' ass because the Cowboys kind of suck. But again, every NFL fan kind of knows that. And then on Monday Night Football, oh, God. The Packers and the Raiders. Gee, another disaster. The primetime games, other than the Cowboys and the 49ers, look horrible. Like all the primetime games these past couple of weeks have been awful. There's even a Sports Illustrated article that came out yesterday that David shared with me that they were saying how horrible these primetime games are. And most of the good shit is in the afternoon games. And this is no different because the Packers and the Raiders and the Cowboys, the Cowboys and 49ers, that's a great game. But let's talk about the game that's on Monday Night Football, Packers and the Raiders, and then, of course, the Giants and the Seahawks, and then the whole disaster with the Chiefs and the Jets. And then on week 2, we had in primetime the Saints and the Panthers and the Browns and the Steelers. I think also the Dolphins and the Patriots was also a primetime game. And it was just like, oh my God, it's terrible. And then, of course, in primetime in week 1, I believe it was the Bills and the Jets and the Cowboys and the Giants. And they were also freaking disasters. So I'm like, what's going on with the primetime games? I mean, isn't primetime where most of America is going to be watching? Because you don't know what people are doing on Sunday afternoon. You know, they're probably doing other crap, although they do often get good ratings. But most people are watching Sunday Night Football every week. It's one of the highest rated TV shows on American television, especially considering mainstream network television. We're not talking about cable and streaming. That's what most people watch every Sunday night. So these disastrous games really got to stop because yikes. And honestly, week 6, when we get to it, doesn't look that much better.
Also, if we talk about week 6, we can't fully blame like the players.
No.
Part of this,
it's the scheduling.
Yeah, and it's not just the scheduling. Another part of this, and I hate to say this because, you know, for years people have said never bash the coaches, but with the coaches and how they go nowadays, man, they really tire out some of these players, man. I was watching a training thing yesterday, and I was like, dude, why are you going so hard on these players? They still need to go out there and play a game, man. If you keep tiring them out the way you are, they're not.
That's probably why there's been a lot of injuries this year. So far this season's been a shit ton of injuries, particularly with the Steelers and the Browns. Almost half their team is injured. So, you know, it's getting really, really ridiculous. So, I don't know. So, it's just really bizarre to me that these primetime games are just a complete disaster. So, in terms of my game of the week, in terms of week 5, well, I could easily go to the easy route, say the Jaguars and the Bills, but the Jaguars are like 2-2. So, for what I'm going to say instead, I'm either going to say the Rams and the Eagles or the Cowboys and the 49ers. It's going to be one of those two, I think. In terms of what do you guys think? What's going to be the game of the week?
Niners and Cowboys, because it's a storied rivalry.
Yeah, I agree with him. That should be a good one.
Especially considering, the Cowboys are doing pretty good, but you never underestimate McCaffrey and Purdy. You can't underestimate them. They are a dynamic duo for a reason. They are great, and they are one of 2 4-0 teams in the league right now. One of the only 2 4-0, I believe. What was the other 4-0? I believe it was the Eagles, maybe. Yes, they are also 4-0, but that's it. There are the only 2 of them that are 4-0. So, yeah. So there you go. That's probably going to have to do it for this episode. Considering that Dave wasn't here today, I think we got done pretty good. And honestly, I think the whole 17-minute Taylor Swift shit was kind of therapeutic for me, especially considering what has happened the past couple of days because of that whole attention thing. And hopefully she doesn't attend again because of this whole attention shit. But we're not going to know, I don't think, for a couple of days if she's not going to go, because now people are going to track her every move and see, oh, she's going to be there, blah, 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 and all that, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if she's going to be there. Hopefully not, or else I'm not watching. I'm just going to turn on Lost again. So, yeah, that's going to have to do it. We'll see you guys next week. David will be here next week. He did tell me that. So Hopefully it'll be a lot more cleaner of an episode. I guess I did well considering I have hosting cred. So there you go. So until next time, not good night, but good afternoon, maybe. But let's just say see you next time and call it a day, okay? There you go. Bye.
Peace out.